Good evening, this is Mordechai Kutkis, and tonight's topic is the message of Pesach, of Passover. In 14 days, we will celebrate the holiday of Passover, and this is our national holiday, time of our redemption from Egypt, from bondage to freedom. And the Bible tells us, V'garata labincha. The main idea of Passover is to give over the story and to give over the tradition to our children. What sort of message are we giving and sending to our children? Every day in our prayers, we say, Modim anachnu loch. We thank you, God. And what do we thank you for? Al nisecha shebachol yom imanu. We thank you for performing miracles every day. What if we don't see miracles every day? That means that we're lying. We're just mouthing words. We don't mean what we say. Our children might ask, Dad, what does this mean? We're thanking God for all the miracles He performs every day. I don't see any miracles. What do we tell our children? If we sit down by the Seder, we say, Lishana haba b'Yerushalayim, next year in Jerusalem. Our children might ask, Dad, do you really plan on being in Jerusalem? Where are you going to stay? Are we moving to Jerusalem? Isn't that what it means? Do you own a piece of land? Do you own an apartment? Do you have a home in or near Jerusalem? How can you say next year in Jerusalem? You don't mean it. So we're teaching our children that the Seder and our prayers are just empty words. What kind of education is that? Perhaps we should try to think about what we're saying and what we're doing. Perhaps we should think seriously about making next year in Jerusalem a reality. Perhaps we should try to fulfill the commandments of the Seder night seriously and to retell the Exodus, to retell the miracles, the 10 plagues, the splitting of the Red Sea, all the sufferings that we were enduring before we were saved, and the suffering that the Egyptians suffered at the hands of God throughout the plagues and afterwards. Perhaps we can make the story of the Exodus come alive for our children and for ourselves. After all, Passover is only once a year. The idea is to make the miracles of the Exodus come alive. And what is the point of that? The Ramban, the famous commentator who lived over 800 years ago, wrote, after retelling and thinking about the open miracles, one comes to believe in the hidden miracles. And the Ramban continues to explain that there is no such thing as nature. There is no such thing as a chance occurrence, an incident, a happening. It doesn't exist. God runs the world. The Bible itself says, Ata hareis ladas, you had begun to show us. Ti Hashem hu Elokim b'shamayim imal v'osei tachas. You are the only God, in the heavens above and the earth below. Ein od milvado. There is nothing besides Him. What does it mean there's nothing besides Him? It means, according to Rambam and many others, that all the other beings in the world, in the universe, exist only as long as God wills them to exist. We are all a figment, so to speak, of God's imagination. He is thinking about us and therefore we exist. If he decides, God forbid, to destroy us, then he can destroy us. If he pulls the plug, there's no electricity. We're like robots. Take the plug out of the wall, and the robot doesn't exist anymore. We're totally dependent on God. Everything, everyone, every creation is totally dependent on God. But God does not depend on anyone. He is eternal, he's above space, he's above time. That's what makes him God. There is nothing like him. There are no other gods. There is nothing else which is independent of God. We are all sons of God. No one has that special privilege. All Jewish people are sons of God. The verse tells us we're all sons of God. Not only are we sons, but we are considered God's first son. Each Jew is very important to God. B'ni b'char Yisrael, God said to Moses to tell Pharaoh, don't mess with my firstborn. The Jewish people are my firstborn. My first thought. I created the world for them to achieve ethical, moral, religious greatness and perfection. So don't start up with my children because I'm taking them out of Egypt. And if you stop me, you will suffer the consequences. So the prophets tell us, Ki meitzeischa me'eretz Mitzrayim erenon flows. God tells the prophets that soon in the future there's going to be a time when we will witness similar miracles as we did in Egypt, even greater miracles. But there are other similarities. We know in Egypt, V'chamushim Yosef b'nei Yisrael, the Bible tells us only 1/5 of the Jewish people left Egypt. What happened to 80%? What happened to the 4/5? They all died during the plague of darkness, during the 9th plague. Why did they have to perish? Because they said, we're not leaving Egypt. We love it here, so we have to work. But we have plenty of fish, plenty of vegetables. Why do we have to go in the desert or go to the land of Israel? We're very comfortable here outside the land of Israel. We're very comfortable in Egypt. And it makes us wonder, what if people say we're very comfortable in the United States or in England or anywhere else? What's going to happen then? Well, God did the Jews of France a very big favor. He put thoughts of anti-Semitism in the minds of many Frenchmen, and we have witnessed in the last couple of years a tremendous influx of Jews from France, and we are hoping to see a great influx of Jews from North America, from England, from other places as well. And why not? Israel is our home. There is a commandment to live in the land of Israel. There is a commandment to love God constantly. The only place we can do that is here in the land of Israel, the land of holiness, where the very stones that we tread on and the walls of our homes are full of holiness, when we can go to the Western Wall whenever we like and pray and experience divine presence which is felt so keenly at the Western Wall. I personally try to go there every day, and often I meet Jews and non-Jews alike, and I'm told time and again, what's going on here? It's incredible. There's something there, there's something here which is incredible. Why doesn't everyone want to experience this? Don't we want to feel close to God? Close to the Creator of all the universes? We have an opportunity. I strongly suggest that everyone who can, next year in Jerusalem, let's make it a reality.